makers of Camel cigarettes present Dick Powell as Richard Diamond, private detective. How mild can a cigarette be?
One puff won't tell you.
One sniff won't tell you.
It takes day in, day out smoking to find out how mild a cigarette is, how well it agrees with your throat. Make the sensible cigarette test. Smoke only Camels for 30 days, and you'll see just how mild a cigarette can be.
Here transcribed is Richard Diamond, private detective, starring Dick Powell.
Diamond Detective Agency. Diamond, that's a girl's best friend, you know.
Not this girl anymore.
Oh, Helen, hi.
Hi, you stinker. Where were you all day yesterday?
Oh, well, you'll never guess what happened.
No.
9 o'clock City Hall. They told me I have to renew my license. Cost $200.
Go on, I'm listening, but I'm not sympathetic.
10 o'clock, my bank. Withdrew $2.35. The wad.
Well, big oaks from little acorns grow.
Exactly, that was the idea. So 11 o'clock, my brokers. Pawn, that is. Deposited typewriter, watch, ring. 1:30, Louis' barbershop.
A lie? You had a haircut 2 days ago?
And I was trimmed again. Louis' tip on the 7th should have been read backwards.
Rick, do you mean you still haven't renewed your license and you lost all the money you raised on your things?
Honey, not only that, I lost a lot of faith in Louis. What I need is a good client with $200, and this might be the one. She's wearing mink. And she's got nice black eyes.
Rick, I'll loan you $200. Tell her to take her eyes somewhere else.
Sorry, honey. The eyes have it. Bye. Well, may I help you?
Is your name Richard Diamond?
I'm thinking of changing it to Richard Zircon, but what can I do for you?
Will you work for me, please? Here, $300.
Lady, I'll die for you.
He was always so nice. Then this morning I met him at the house for coffee and told him what I found out.
Suppose you start from the beginning, and we'll see what we can do about him. Sit down.
I don't know how I could be so stupid. They were just using me. I've made a terrible mistake.
We all make mistakes.
I'm in desperate trouble, Mr. Diamond.
What's wrong with you? You're shivering.
The cab. All the way from Brooklyn, I found... It hurts.
What is it? What?
Help me, Mr. Diamond. Please. Please. Help me.
She fell into my arms, tearing at her stomach, as if she'd just swallowed hot lead. She was still trying to talk when I let her down to the floor and ran out for some water. When I came back 5 seconds later, she was unconscious. And in another 5 seconds, she was dead.
If it ain't Richard Diamond, defective detective.
And your name, Sonny?
Why, it's me, Otis, Sergeant Otis. You know me, Rick.
Oh, yes, Sergeant Otis. I didn't recognize you there for a minute. You had an intelligent look on your face.
Oh, you think that's funny, don't you? Well, let me tell you something really funny.
Well, do.
Personnel division tells me if you don't get up $200 by midnight, you're gonna be an ex-private detective.
One of the reasons why I'm here, Otis, old buddy. Now, on your lunch hour, trot up to personnel and tell them about the color of this.
Ew. Where'd you get all the scratch?
For my client.
But she's dead.
Well, go ahead, say it. She's dead. But dead or alive, she hired me and paid me, and I'm still working for her. Here. You can take it upstairs and cover my license fee for me.
Oh, all right.
Now, try to smile through those tears. There you are. 200. All counted. You won't have to take off your shoes.
Okay, I'll take it up for you. Hey, about that dame, Diamond. You know, I got a theory.
Otis, there's smoke coming out of your ears. I told you that would happen if you ever tried to think for yourself. Now, where's Levinson?
Lieutenant's across the hall in the medical examiner's office. I'll go get him.
Never mind, I'll do it myself. You might lose your way.
Oh, you talk like that.
Hello, Rick. Glad you dropped by.
Hi, Walt. What did you find out about the girl?
Medics just finished with her. It was xylitol killed her.
Xylitol? That's new to me.
It's a drug. Petrol base. Been in her stomach about an hour. Judging from the way she acted and talked, it could have been suicide.
What's her name?
Haven't made it yet.
Don't know who she is? You need some new talent around here, Walt.
Well, there's no identification. Prints haven't lined up with anything yet. Too bad, huh? Real nice-looking kid.
I agreed. She was a nice-looking kid. The kind you wait all year long to ask to the senior prom. Watching her die that morning hadn't been easy. It was like standing helpless in the middle of a sudden blizzard that wipes out the flowers of an early spring. When I got back to my office, I was still wondering who she was and how I could help her.
Hi, Ricky boy. I've been waiting for you.
Oh, hello, Bridgie. Isn't it a little late in the day to be cleaning up my office?
I finished swabbing it down a few minutes ago. I was just waiting to get...
Sorry, Bridgie. No canasta this afternoon. Don't feel like it.
Me neither. Gotta take my banjo lesson in half an hour. Waited around to give you this.
What,
Found this purse lying in your wastebasket. One of your girlies must have knocked it off the edge of your desk.
Give it to me, will you?
Maybe that wasn't the mink coat I seen come in this morning.
It was hers, all right. The faint, sweet odor of her perfume still clung to it. But it wasn't the lipstick, comb, small change, and key that made it so heavy. It was the .32 revolver inside, 3 bullets recently fired. A driver's license told me her name was Doris Romano, and it gave an address. Nobody was home. The lady next door dropped her mop long enough to wheeze out where Mr. Romano worked. I twisted my way down an iron stairway into a furnace room. Doris Romano's father was taking huge bites out of a coal pile with an outsized shovel. I told him his daughter was dead. He slammed the furnace door and threw down the shovel.
I knew someday I would hear this. You look like a nice young man. Like my 2 daughters once nice young ladies. They went away from me a long time ago and I'm left here. There's nothing I could do. There is nothing I can do. It's as if they never were. It's better that I go on shoveling until there is no more coal and I die too. I'm better dead.
I took Mr. Romano down to the coroner's office and he identified her body. Later, I told Walt about the purse and turned it over to him. Everything but the .32 and the key. Maybe it was the wrong way to play it, but somehow I felt I could still give Doris Romano the help she'd wanted. She said that she had taken a taxi from Brooklyn. So Diamond went to Brooklyn. I don't know how many cab stands there are in Brooklyn, but I can tell you where you can find 104 of them.
Sorry, bud, I got a fare.
Where, under the floorboards?
In there, eating.
I'm looking for information. Here.
Gumboots, huh? Who's getting cheated?
Did you carry a brunette in a mink coat all the way to Manhattan sometime this morning?
Maybe.
Where'd you pick her up?
Brooklyn, house on M Street.
What house?
How's a little all expense account?
Well, here's a fin.
Oh, no.
That's all there is. Only one to a customer.
Okay, I'll tell you about the house, but I won't tell you about the guy.
What guy?
You sure only one to a customer?
Well, let's say we had a change in management. Okay, now tell me about the guy.
Tall, dark-haired, blue suit kind. He was sort of chasing her when she climbed into me cab. Looked like a mesh.
With spring still 2 months away? Come on, take me to the house.
It's the gray one, 900 block. Find it yourself like I told you. I got a fare.
I found the house easy enough. There was a for sale sign on it. The door was locked, so I walked around and back and peeked in the kitchen window. Then I remembered I still had the key that had been in Doris's purse. It worked. Inside, the odor of tar or printer's ink or something along those lines hit me. I was just starting to sniff around when a tall blue suit eased himself in through the kitchen door. He looked at me like I was breathing some air that belonged to him.
You could use your GI loan. You ought to buy it. It's a real steal.
Oh, thanks. I'm just looking.
Well, we charge for that, too.
Oh. Well, I don't think she'd like it.
Your wife?
No. Just a girl in a mink coat. Name of Doris Romano.
Where'd you get the key to this house?
From her. It was in her will. She's dead.
I'll get my black suit pressed.
I met a cab driver who says he knows you. Said you've been doing a chase scene with Doris Romano early this morning.
Mister, when I chase a girl, I catch her.
I suppose you've got a name.
Yeah, it's Joe Riley. I own this house, or if you're a buyer, okay. If not, cop a heel.
Well, I'm not a buyer.
Then blow.
Oh, I didn't know Lugers came that big.
Mm-hmm. And they make holes to match.
Yeah, I imagine so.
All right, Pilgrim, you got a name?
For me or you?
School isn't out yet. Just answer.
Well, there's Richard Diamond, private detective. She came to my office this morning.
What'd she have to say?
Nothing. She died of poisoning before she could say anything.
And the police?
They have her body and identification.
Well, goody for them. That all?
There's still you.
Any cop who wants me can find me listed in the book. I got a permit for this gun, and I haven't got a record. You see, Diamond, I could blow your head off for trespassing. But I'm a real nice guy, so just get out and forget you saw me.
Well, that won't be hard. Half an hour later, I picked up the evening paper, and the lead story stuck out like a white derby on an undertaker. It was about an unidentified man pulled out of the river that afternoon. The coroner had picked 3 .32 slugs out of him.
What is it, Rick?
Well, about this guy they pulled out of the river. Anything on him?
Why?
No, just curiosity.
It's a terrible thing. Not just 3 .32 slugs, but they'd been filed down the center.
Dum-dums?
Dum-dums. Tore the poor guy all apart. Everybody in the department's plenty sore. You want to see the body?
Some of the time. I know what it would look like. As I left Walt's office, I felt like I was standing on a trap door and the warden had just smiled at the hangman. But I had to take Doris Romano's .32 out of my pocket and look at it. The 3 remaining bullets were all filed right down the center. Dum-dums. Everybody had a right to be sore, especially me.
Before we continue with Richard Diamond, here are a few words about smoking enjoyment.
More people smoke Camels than any other cigarette.
That's right. More people smoke Camels than any other cigarette.
You'll find the reason in 2 words: flavor and mildness. No other cigarette has Camel's rich, full flavor. The flavor of costly tobaccos, properly aged and expertly blended.
And no other cigarette gives you this proof of mildness. In a coast-to-coast test of hundreds of people who smoked only Camels for 30 days, noted throat specialists reported not one single case of throat irritation due to smoking Camels.
Singing stars know the importance of mildness in a cigarette, and that's why so many of them smoke Camels. Ezio Pinza, Nadine Connor, Patrice Munsell, Mario Lanza are a few of the operatic stars who choose Camels every time.
Friends, make the sensible cigarette test. Make your own Camel 30-day test and see how mild, how flavorful, how enjoyable a cigarette can be.
How mild, how mild, how mild, how mild, how mild can a cigarette be? Make the Camel 30-day test and you'll see. Smoke Camels and see.
And now, back to Richard Diamond, Private Detective, starring Dick Powell.
It was hard to picture my angel-faced client pumping dum-dum bullets into some guy and tossing him in the drink, but that's the way it looked. I had no choice but to turn the gun and bullets over to Lieutenant Walt Levinson for investigation. And the aftermath was something only a hurricane would understand. He acted like an historian who'd caught George Washington telling a lie.
Well, I guess this kind of proves who knows what who was talking about, doesn't it, Rick?
All right, so who's on first? Want me to tell you what's on second?
I don't want you to tell me anything because I know everything now.
You know, they could use you in some very high official circles.
Go ahead, make jokes.
I didn't know I had.
A man is found in the river with dum-dum bullets in him. She's carrying the gun that did it. Her fingerprints were on it. And then she commits suicide. Remorse.
Ah, baloney. Why did she come to my office to die? Why, when she didn't even know me, was I the last person on the earth she chose to see if she committed suicide?
Dames in love want to make a big show. Publicity. Go out with a 3-column spread.
Then why didn't she drop down on the city desk of the Graphic? They'd have printed the story in real blood. Hers.
You were a lot closer than the Graphic.
Now, Walt, I'm going to explain this to you patiently. I've seen women of every kind. Hard, soft, sweet, warm, cheap, treacherous, mean. But I've never known a woman to lie in your arms dying, look up at you, with the most innocent black eyes in the world and ask you to help her after she had just come fresh from killing a man.
Psychology, I don't know. But evidence, I do.
If she went to all that trouble to get rid of the body, why didn't she get rid of the gun, too?
Well, I don't know.
Oh, Walt, this is the sweetest double-cross since the three-way stretch. Somebody planted that gun on her. Now, if you can keep it out of the papers, somebody's going to wonder why the gun wasn't found and come looking for it. Will you give that theory a try?
And I suppose you'll be waiting for them with a butterfly net.
I'll be waiting for them with a picture of that girl's black eyes in the back of my head. What do you say?
Well...
Thanks, Walt. Personnel told me that the gun had been purchased by American Trust and Loan Company in 1941 and permitted to a bank messenger named Dale F. Bronson. The address was an apartment on 63rd Street. When I saw all the expensive cars out in front, I was thinking I should have been a bank messenger. When she answered the door, I knew it. Pure gold.
Well, hello. Tall, aren't you?
Oh, I do my best. Somehow I knew you'd belong to one of those cars out in front. Which one?
Longest low convertible. What can I do for you?
Oh, well, I'll rephrase the answer. I'd like to talk inside.
It's terribly early for me to receive strangers.
Oh, well, I sent my hourglass to the Sahara for a checkup. Besides, my watch is broken.
Come on in. I'll see if I can fix it. I'm great with the Swiss movement.
It shows. Are you Mrs. Bronson?
Yes, and my name's Kitty.
Kitty? Oh, nice. It's too bad I have to say this, but I'd like to see your husband. Preferably before he sees me and draws the right conclusion.
He's not here.
Expect him?
You're going to love this. No.
Where is he?
He's in a place where nothing matters anymore. Cemetery.
Sorry.
Don't be. He stuck his neck out and tried to be a hero one day. Somebody shot him and stole the money he was carrying.
You don't seem to miss him much.
I'm still wearing black.
Right color, Kitty, but wrong cut.
It's a new philosophy I've worked out.
I understand he worked for the American Trust and Loan. They, bought him a gun.
Don't tell me you're here to talk about guns. Who sent you? Field and Stream?
Well, this is sort of a collector's item. Recognize him?
No, should I?
It belonged to your husband.
You say it was my husband's? I suppose it was. I don't know for sure. We only stayed together a year. He had a lot of things.
After he was killed, what happened to those things?
I don't know. He moved in with his mother. She probably disposed of them.
I'd like to talk to his mother. Where could I find her?
This just isn't your night. She's in the cemetery. Next to him, heart failure.
Well, I'll wash up, get my pay, and go home.
Just who are you?
Richard Diamond. You can call me Richard Diamond.
Detective?
Fridays.
Arrest me.
Not until you commit a felony. This is only a misdemeanor.
You're a sergeant?
5-star general. Run my own outfit.
Come here. My application for the auxiliary. Pass.
Fail. If we ever open a recreation center, I'll let you know. Outside, where things were milder, I lit up a Camel and tried to think of something smart. Then I began looking around for a cab, and that was my first mistake. Two bulky forms slid in behind me, and we walked Indian file for a few steps. When we reached the alley, I turned around to see who it might be. Ooh! That was my second mistake. I didn't have time to make any more.
All right, Rennie. Drag him down this alley. Now, prop him up against the wall. I hope we don't chip none of these bricks with his head. Hey, Diamond, I know it's hard for you to see right now, but can you hear me?
You got a lot of punch in that delivery.
Do you get it?
If I didn't get it before, I just got it then.
Yeah, I just got one thing to say. Mind your own business. Mind your own business. Mind your own business. Mind your own business.
I went out of business about 2 punches later. And an ice age later, a yellow cat with one bad eye began licking my face. I guess he thought I was something left over from Toots Shores. When I dissolved back in, I was lying on a soft, white bed in Police Emergency Hospital. Lieutenant Walt Levinson was leaning over me. He looked sad and puzzled, like he was trying to pick a lock with a wet hair.
Rick, it's me.
Oh, I can hear you, Walt. You've got a mouthful of firecrackers.
One of the radio cars found you lying in an alley. What happened?
Oh, that's a bright question. Will I even rate a little sympathy?
Why should you? 9 times out of 10 you ask for it.
And get it. Now, look, Walt, there's an irritated tone in your voice that isn't on the scale. Ask somebody to get me my pants, will you?
You can't walk out of here in your condition.
I got work to do. My client still has a bad name.
It's even worse now.
You know, besides being overconfident, you're overconfident.
Rick, that body with the dum-dum's been identified. His name's Sam Gulliver, Treasury agent.
Treasury agent?
Yeah, he'd been after your client for a couple of months for passing bad money. Looks like he moved in to make the pinch and she shot him.
Bad money? Bad money? Oh, Walt, what time is it?
11:45. Why?
Well, I guess I'm 15 minutes away from being out of business. I used her dough to renew my license fee.
Well, I'd pay it for you myself if you could tell me who she'd been working with.
Dig, Walt. I know a gray house in Brooklyn that just reeks of printer's ink. And I know a guy named Joe Riley who's probably got some skin knuckles.
Oh?
Well, do I get my pants now? I filled Walt in with some of the details on our way over there. He took it pretty hard. But the thought of talking to a live suspect thrilled him. I knew it would. We slipped down the alley and back of the place and cut our lights. The house was dark and quiet. No one stopped us when we let ourselves in the basement door. The smell of printer's ink was still strong.
Throw the flash over there against that wall, Rick.
Hey. A whole basement full of evidence. Plates, prints, machinery.
You hit it, Rick. Now all we need is Riley.
Just above us, the whole world began to explode. I took the stairs 3 at a time, Walt right behind me. We ran to the front of the house, and from the window we saw a long, low convertible that looked familiar, streaking from the curb. I was making a lunge through the doorway when I tripped over a former acquaintance.
Hi, Nosy. How's tricks?
Riley.
You must be made out of rubber. I thought I bounced you for at least 20 hours so that we could get...
I'll get an ambulance, Rick.
No hurry, Walt. You wouldn't know the difference.
I better get a pickup out on that car we just saw pull away.
But I find it before you do.
Huh?
You got a corpse here, Walt. Let me have my fun. I used a cab to get back over to 63rd Street. The same kind of expensive cars were still parked out in front. Only one of them, a long, low convertible, had a very hot radiator.
Oh, it's you.
Tell me how tall I am, Kitty.
Well, I'd love to, but not right now.
I was kind of hoping we could have a drink. Got any hemlock?
I said later. I'm really tired.
I said now.
Well, you are eager. What do you want?
A poor dumb kid who knew she'd been used asked me to help her this morning, just before she dropped dead, and I'm helping her.
I just happen to be fresh out of medals.
You shot Joe Riley less than half an hour ago. Now, don't reach for it, lady. I'd like a good excuse.
Let me go.
Doris Romano didn't know she was passing bad money for you and your boyfriend Riley. When the agent tried to make the arrest, either you or Riley shot him. And then Doris knew the whole setup. And you knew she was scared.
Joe Riley poisoned her. I didn't do it. I didn't want him to do it, and he was dumb enough to think it was clever to plant the gun in her purse.
But you didn't kill Riley for being so dumb. You had a better reason, Kitty. I talked to a coal shoveler in a basement this morning. He was bitter about both his daughters going wrong. One of them was Doris. The other was you. Those black eyes give you away right now.
All right. Look, I have a lot of money. Real money. Good money. Enough for two of us. We could do anything, go anywhere. Be a chance to stop gumshoeing around and be somebody. And Ricky, you know how I am. I can be nice. Awful nice.
That's what scares me, Kitty.
Now listen to me. They'll send me to prison. I'll grow old and ugly there.
If you're lucky.
Oh, Rick, please. Please let me go. I'll give you all the money. I'll do anything. Please. Please help me.
You know, lady, for a minute you sounded just like your sister.
Dick Powell will return in just a minute.
In a repeated nationwide survey, doctors in every branch of medicine have been asked this question.
What cigarette do you smoke, Doctor?
Again, the brand named most was Camel. Yes, according to this repeated nationwide survey, more doctors smoke Camels than any other cigarette.
Friends, try Camels and see why so many people say, once a Camel smoker, always a Camel smoker.
How mild, how mild, how mild, how mild can a cigarette be? Make the Camel 30-day test and you'll see. Smoke Camels and see.
Here's Dick Powell with a special message.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, any way that we can help make the lives of our hospitalized servicemen and veterans happier is always gratifying. The way the Camel cigarette people have been doing it is with gift cigarettes sent to service hospitals around the country and overseas. This week, the Camels go to Veterans Hospitals, Roanoke, Virginia, and Northport, New York. U.S. Air Force Hospital, Alaskan Air Command. U.S. Naval Hospital, St. Albans, New York. The Camel people have now sent more than 194 million cigarettes to servicemen, servicewomen, and veterans. Now, until next week, enjoy Camels. I always do.
Dick Powell can now be seen in the RKO picture Cry Danger. Tonight's adventure of Richard Diamond was written by John Michael Hayes and E. Jack Newman with music by Frank Worth. Our director is Helen Mack. Featured in the cast were Virginia Gregg, Wilms Herbert, and Arthur Q. Bryan. Men, pack your pipes with Prince Albert, the national joy smoke. PA's choice tobacco is rich and flavorful with a fine natural aroma. It's crimp cut for smooth, even burning, and specially treated to ensure against tongue bite. Get Prince Albert, America's largest selling smoking tobacco. Listen next week for another exciting transcribed adventure of Richard Diamond, starring Dick Powell. This is your FBI. The official broadcast from the files of the FBI follows immediately. Stay tuned. This program came to you from Hollywood. This is the American Broadcasting Company.
Richard Diamond, Private Detective, starring Dick Powell.
Just a moment.
Diamond, pick up the
Walt, is that your blood pressure I hear bubbling, or are you calling from Niagara Falls?
What's the big idea keeping me waiting like that?
Well, the big idea is that it's a beautiful day and I'm happy. When I'm happy, I whistle. And when I'm happy and whistling, I don't like to be interrupted.
I'll remember that the next time you're unhappy and you ask a favor from me. You can whistle then, too.
Oh, the great, big, important police lieutenant wants a favor from poor little old Richard Diamond.
I want you to go to a funeral.
Yours?
No, it's mine. Say, I'll live to dance the Charleston on your grave, wise guy. No, they're burying Bigfoot Grafton this afternoon.
How do you know?
How do I know? How do I know what?
That it's Bigfoot Grafton they're tucking in. The way it read in my paper, the Harbor Patrol fished out a guy presumed to be Bigfoot Grafton, boy racketeer.
We're satisfied with the identification.
Huh? Fingerprints?
Fingerprints. Look, the body was in the Hudson River for nearly a week.
Oh. Then tell me, what makes you so sure the guy they're putting in the ground today is Grafton?
Look, Diamond, you're beginning to exasperate me. Will you or won't you go with us to Bigfoot Grafton's funeral this afternoon?
Why me?
Maybe you can show the boys how to dig the grave.
Oh, Walt, that's silly. I don't know a grave from a hole in the ground. So why me?
Because you once told me about a little business matter you had with some of Grafton's gang out west. And because some of those same hoods may attend the funeral, and because if any of them do, you'll recognize them.
And I can point him out to you.
Say, you are a detective. Otis and I'll pick you up in about an hour. Goodbye, Diamond.
Goodbye, Bright Eyes.
Come on, Billy. How many times have I got to tell you this is the only thing left to do?
It's all wrong, Marge. I tell you, there's no need to call in a private eye.
Well, hello, girl.
Who are you?
The name's on the door.
You're Diamond?
You see something you don't like?
Yeah, you.
Oh, you'll never be lovely, be engaged, or get to use puns with an attitude like that.
It's a waste of time, Marge, a waste of time.
Lay off it, Billy. I know what's right. We came a long way to see you, Diamond. All the way from West Frampton we came. We're ducklings.
Well, first impressions are so deceiving. I almost thought you were girls. Now, look, there's a psychiatrist just down the hall who...
Get this, Billy. The guy thinks we're nuts.
Well, maybe you are a couple of ducks, and I'm the one who's crazy.
Not ducks, ducklings.
Oh, well, then if you have that kind of a problem, go to the Audubon Society.
You never heard of the Long Island Ducklings? All we done was win the pennant last year.
Pennant? Oh, baseball?
Now it's coming. We're a girls' softball team. We got our own park out in West Frampton. I play third base.
Who's on first?
Me. Come on, let's get out of here, Marge.
We'll stay. We gotta find Lottie, and he's gotta help us.
Lottie?
Lottie Wyrachek, our second baseman. She's been missing almost a week now. We can't win without our second baseman.
Oh, yes. I can see where it must leave quite a gap between first base and shortstop.
We ain't gonna win the pennant again unless we get Lottie back, Diamond. We gotta have her. You're elected.
Elected? I'm not even sure I accept the nomination.
See? Let's go, Marge.
You don't want the job, Diamond?
Well, I've never looked for a missing second baseman before. I wouldn't know where to begin.
A fine detective. Here, you begin by looking at her snapshot.
Oh, no, girls. Really, I'm terribly busy right now. I've got to go to a funeral and help the police department with it.
Look at her picture.
But I tell you, Don't tell me this is...
Lottie Wyrachek.
You mean a girl who looks like this wastes her nights playing second base?
Yeah.
Wastes, he says. Diamond, stop drooling. You take the job?
Well, I'm tempted. Yes, I'm very tempted. Now let's get some answers first.
Ask Billy. She's her roommate.
All right. Now think back, Billy, to a day or so before she disappeared. She seemed worried about anything? Nervous? Upset?
No. Why, she even hit 2 home runs the very last night she played.
She did, huh? Well, I wonder if... Oh, no, that isn't possible. The Dodgers do a lot of things, but they wouldn't kidnap people. You say she's been with the team 2 years?
Yeah.
Diamond, what sort of questions are these?
Please, Lefty. It's my turn at bat. Now, Billy, what did she do before she became a second baseman?
Who knows?
You'll find her for us?
For you? Oh, no. For me. They gave me a pass for the game that night with the Amagansett Amazons, informed me how to get out to West Frampton the quickest way as the E-train flies, then exploded themselves out, leaving me with a snapshot of a second baseman who looked like Jane Russell, only more so. I wasn't able to dream too long because soon the door opened and I looked up to find the most beautiful gabardine suit I'd ever seen walking toward my desk on the frame of the ugliest hoodlum I'd ever seen.
Hey, you Diamond?
To some people. To others, I'm Mr. Diamond.
Diamond. Mr. Diamond. The late Mr. Diamond. Yeah, that's the one I like the best.
All right, Parrot Puss. Who's been eating your crackers?
All right, comic. I'm just a boy with a message.
Spill it.
You had visitors, huh?
Yeah?
Yeah. A couple of overgrown tomatoes. A couple of tomatoes that look more like they belong to the Russian infantry than to the human race.
Well, you're not very much to look at yourself, Ugly. Get on with the message.
The message is lay off. Don't go looking for no missing girl. You don't wake up with no bullet holes where your eyes ought to be. Huh? That's the message. The whole message.
No signature?
You don't need no signature, friend. Goodbye, Mr. Diamond.
Just a minute, Repulsive.
Yeah?
I want to tell you about the last side-of-the-mouth punk who brought me a message like this without a signature.
Go on. Frighten me. Go on. Just stand back there, Diamond. Don't come no closer. I'll let you.
Don't reach into that pocket, punk.
Oh, my arm.
Now, let me get it for you. Now, a Luger. And almost as ugly as you are. We won't be needing it for this game.
My arm. My arm.
Oh, there's your arm. Now, put it up with the other one, and I'll knock your head off. A few seconds later, when I picked myself up off the floor, I looked around for my spar mate, but he'd taken his arms and gone home, leaving me with an eye which for weeks to come would have me lying to people about walking into a door. Yeah, a door wearing gabardine.
How'd you get that shiner, Diamond?
I walked into a door, Walt. A door with a fist at the end of it. Where is this cemetery? South Carolina?
We'll be there soon. Bigfoot Grafton won't mind waiting a little longer.
Assuming, Sergeant Otis, that it is Bigfoot Grafton they're planting.
Oh, no, you're not going to start that again. I told you on the phone. We're satisfied with the identification.
What identification?
Laundry marks on Grafton's shirt, cleaning marks on Grafton's suit.
Go on.
What do you mean, go on?
Look, Walt, suppose you're wanted for murder. 2 murder raps, and you don't have a chance of beating. And suppose that next to the mailman with the income tax refunds, you're the most looked-for guy in the country.
Yeah, I know what you're going to say, Diamond. You think maybe Grafton finds a sucker with his same general build, shoots him in the spine, changes clothes with him, and then dumps him in the big bathtub.
That's right, Walt.
Well, us silly, confused homicide cops figured that way, too, until we checked up on what gave Grafton his nickname.
His nickname? Bigfoot.
Yeah. 14 and a half. We found his shoemaker. He verified the size.
So?
So it's possible that Grafton can find a guy that fits his general physique. It's even possible that the guy he finds not only is built the same way body-wise, but wears exactly size 14 and a half brogans, too. Yeah, it's possible, but highly improbable.
Yeah, maybe you're right at that.
Well, on behalf of myself and all the other simple-minded fellas known as cops, thank you, Diamond, for saying what you just did. Thank you. There's the cemetery.
It was just a simple little funeral, except that the coffin cost maybe $10,000 more than mine will ever cost, and excluding the fact that there were enough flowers to make a couple of dozen floats for the Turnip of Roses parade. Yes, it was just a simple little funeral with maybe 1,000 simple little mourners. Good conservative people, like safe blowers, burglars, con men, petty thieves, and some not so petty. Big wheels, little wheels, chiselers, grifters, grafters, gyp artists.
Well, Diamond, you see anyone who used to run with Grafton's mob?
No, not yet. Hey, look. Now, what's he doing here?
Oh.
The parrot nose in the stylish gabardine suit.
I've been admiring that suit. Gabardine, huh? Too bad a poor little gabardine had to go give up its life just so a mug like that could have a suit.
Where you going, Diamond? Who is that guy?
He's a messenger boy. I'll be right back. I edged my way through the crowd toward him, hoping that in view of the solemnity of the occasion, none of the pickpockets among the mourners would make use of the opportunity to swipe my suspenders. 5 yards away, he turned. He saw me and started to run. I put my head down like a sprinter and turned to follow. There's nothing like a merry chase in a merry place like a cemetery. And just when I thought I had him...
Diamond, what are you doing running into tombstones?
Oh, well, I suddenly remembered it's been years since I had a collision with a tombstone.
Oh, what were you chasing that guy with a fancy suit for?
I wanted to find out who his tailor is. Look, Otis got a good look at that twerp I was chasing. Tell him to go through Rogue's Gallery and try to identify him for me, huh?
Yeah, but where are you going?
Me? No, I think I'll go to a ball game. It was a good game as games go, fast and exciting, and my girls did themselves proud, 8-3. Even though the girl who was playing second in place of the missing Lottie made 3 errors. After the game, I was in the corridor outside the dressing room talking to Billy, the first baseman. The one who didn't think I should have been hired to bird dog the missing girl.
Look, Diamond, this is all for nothing. Lottie ain't missing. We never called on you. There's no case.
Now, that's the same tune with a slightly different lyric and Ugly in a gabardine suit sang to me. It's a good thing I'm stubborn.
It's a bad thing, Diamond, for you. It's going to maybe cost you your life. No. No! Don't!
It happened that fast. By the time I turned around to see who did the shooting, he had disappeared in the crowd.
Dirty heel. Diamond, what happened? I heard shooting.
Stand back, everybody. Send for a doctor.
Rotten heel. I was on his team.
Who, Billy? Who?
Told him Marge called on you to find Lottie.
Who, dear?
They'll kill Lottie. They'll kill Lottie.
Billy. Billy.
Diamond. Is she?
If anyone asks you who's on first, the answer is no one.
Diamond, this department isn't in operation so that you can find girls. I don't care how she looks in her baseball uniform.
Oh, but this is business, Walt. I tell you, she's been kidnapped. Another girl on the team was just murdered.
Another murder? Where?
West Frampton.
West who?
Frampton, out on Long Island.
City limits?
No.
That's the quickest case I ever marked closed. What do you want to waste my time with imported homicides for? Don't I have enough to do right here?
Oh, but Walt...
Don't butt me. They've been knocking each other off like flies this week. We're so jammed up, I got 3 stiffs that don't even have a place to lie down.
4, if you include Otis.
Oh, just for that, wise guy, I ain't talking.
Oh, if I could only be sure of that.
I mean, I ain't talking about the guy you played tag with in the cemetery. I found him in the picture book, all right, Diamond. It took me 2 hours. And just for making cracks at me, I ain't telling you his name.
Whose name?
Joe Gabardine's, that's whose. And I ain't telling you what else I found out about him in the picture book either.
Why not?
Because you think you're smarter than the whole police department put together, that's why not.
Oh.
And so if I go spill to you that this Joe Gabardine used to work as a gunsel for the late Bigfoot Grafton, you're going to right away say Bigfoot Grafton ain't dead after all, and that I'm a dope.
Walt, you hear that? The guy that threatened me if I went looking for Lottie Wirachek, this Joe Gabardine, is one of Grafton's boys.
Say, who told you?
Was one of Grafton's boys. Grafton's dead.
No, but maybe not. Maybe all these shenanigans are part of Grafton's plot to put some sucker in his coffin and stay undercover.
Sure.
Maybe Lottie Wirachek knew in some way or other that the guy they fished out of the river and buried today wasn't Grafton. Look, Walt, you gotta...
Diamond, tell me. That name you said, the one that sounds like something spelled backwards.
Wirachek?
That's funny.
What's funny?
That's the same name as this dame's in the file missing person sent over. Only this one's name is Lottie Wirachek.
So's this one, you dope.
You mean there's 2 dames with a name like that?
Yeah, just like there are 2 heads on a sergeant named Otis Loveloon.
Now listen here.
Who reported her missing?
Just for being a fresh guy, I ain't gonna tell you.
You ain't gonna tell him what?
That it says here on the file card that this doctor reported her missing.
Who said anything about a doctor?
Huh?
You sick, Otis? You need a doctor?
I ain't sick. Besides, he ain't that kind of doctor. He's a dentist.
Who's a dentist?
This Dr. Alman. Dr. Percy Alman. 223 Park Avenue.
So?
What do you mean, so?
What about him?
What do you mean? What about him?
Well, you brought him into the conversation. Dr. Percy Alman. You said 223 Park Avenue. What made you mention him if you don't have anything to say about him?
He's the guy who reported this Lottie whatchamacheck missing, you dope. Gee, Diamond, are you dumb?
Dr. Percy Alman's home for decrepit teeth at 223 Park Avenue was a fancy schmancy establishment where bad little molars and bicuspids went in for punishment. I could tell even before I met Alman that he was the kind of drill artist who assured the customers there'd be no pain. No pain at all, and there usually wasn't. Until the customers got their bills. The office was a ground floor professional suite that opened directly on the street, and when I pushed open the door and went in, this kind of nice middle-aged guy greeted me with, "Yes, I'm looking for Dr. Alman."
I'm Dr. Alman, but it's after my office hours, young man, unless it's an emergency.
Well, it's about Lottie. Lottie Warachek.
Lottie? You're from the police. You found her.
Well, not yet, no. And I'm not from the police.
Not? Who are you?
My name is Diamond. I'm a private investigator.
Oh. You gave me quite a turn for a moment.
Well, I'm sorry. Doctor, I'd like you to tell me a few things.
What sort of things?
Lottie Warachek. What's she to you?
Oh, presently, just a friend. Formerly, the best dental assistant I ever had. An extremely nice girl.
Yes, I saw her snapshot. A dental assistant, huh?
Yeah, lovely girl. I hated to lose her. But this baseball thing had been burning in her for a long time. Look, Diamond, just how much do you know about all this?
Oh, I know that Lottie's missing. Maybe in trouble.
Well, I do need help. And perhaps I'd better tell you everything.
I'm game.
But I think I should warn you. The information I'm going to give you is dangerous. It may mean your life.
Well, I'm still game. Maybe not as much as a few seconds ago, but...
Very well. A year or so ago, I had a patient, a man who called himself Dunn, George Dunn.
And then you found out that Dunn wasn't Dunn at all. That he had very big feet, and he was a racketeer named Grafton.
Yes, you were very clever, Diamond. It was the dental chart he wanted. He threatened me. I felt that if I ever gave it to him, he'd feel the necessity for killing me. So I gave the chart to Lottie to keep...
It happened so fast, I barely had time to leap behind a chair. 1 second, the doctor and I were talking. The next, everything was bedlam and confusion, and blood, and death, and anger. My anger. The doctor had caught one smack between the eyes, and I got mad, shooting mad. I charged out of that office, maybe 10 seconds behind the killer, just in time to see him get into a car and melt away into the traffic. He headed east, then south, and east again, then stopped at a crummy-looking building and went in. And that's when smart, shrewd, clever Private Detective Diamond climbed a drain pipe, tore his pants, looked inside a second-floor window, saw a girl tied to a chair, and, like Lochinvar, broke in to rescue the fair second baseman in distress. Lottie?
Look out!
Oh, this was getting monotonous. The billy caught me on the back of the neck, and while it didn't knock me out, it didn't make me feel like dancing either. The first thing I was aware of when I oriented myself to my new condition was the biggest pair of feet I'd ever seen. And the next thing I saw was the gabardine suit containing in its bright, clean folds the filthiest little murder artist I'd ever seen. So I made like a possum and pretended I was asleep.
Say, Grafton, I told you the shamus followed me. I won him.
He's all yours, Joe, I promise, but later.
Why later? Why wait?
Because I gotta get that dental chart, that's why. Now that you've rubbed out the dentist and that goofy Billy the ball player, that chart's the only thing in the world that can prove Bigfoot Grafton's still alive.
So why does that have to hold up Diamond's execution?
Because maybe he knows where the dental chart's hid. I'm giving up on the dame here. She'd have told us long ago if she knew.
If Diamond knows, he'll talk. Even if he don't know, he'll talk. And scream, too.
Later, Joe. And put that pig sticker back in your pocket.
I don't hear you, Grafton. This Diamond made me unhappy, and I don't like to wait.
I said put that knife away, Joe.
I still don't hear you.
All right, Joe.
I knew this was the only chance I'd get. They were too busy showing each other their fangs to give me their undivided attention. And so the possum stopped playing possum and made a stab at playing tiger. The act started with a well-aimed kick to what the fight reporters call the midsection. And the gabardine suit folded limply and sagged to the floor like it didn't even have a man inside it. And that's when Grafton pulled the gun, and that's when I made a grab for his knee. And you guessed it, there was a shot. And then there was a punch that made a mess out of a jawbone. And I'm happy to report that this time it wasn't mine.
Oh, you're wonderful. What's your name?
Well, honey, my name's Diamond.
Diamond?
Yes, dear, and believe me, a diamond is a girl's best friend. hadn't anyone till you. I was a lonely one till you. I used to lie awake and wonder if there could be a someone in the wide world just made for me. Now I see I had to save my love for you. I never gave my love till you. And through my lonely heart demanding it, Cupid took a hand in it. I hadn't anyone till you.
You're so romantic, even with a black eye.
Oh, thank you, dear.
Oh, Ricky, darling, it must have been dreadful.
Oh, it had its moments, Helen.
Yes, I saw that photograph. A second baseman.
What's the matter with a second baseman?
Well, Ricky, if she were any good, wouldn't she be a first baseman?
Honey, I don't think you understand too much about baseball.
Teach me.
Oh, it takes years, baby, years.
Well,
Well, baseball's a game that's divided into innings. 9 innings.
Inning? What's an inning?
Maybe I better teach you how to play post office.
No, Ricky, please.
Well, let's see now. An inning is a sort of a division, a stanza, a frame. Yeah, that's right, a frame.
A frame? An inning's a frame?
Yeah, you're digging it.
No, I'm not, Ricky, not really. Maybe we'd better forget it.
All right.
An inning is a frame.
That's right, dear. An inning is a frame.
Ricky, was she nice?
Lottie?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll say this for her. She sure had a beautiful inning.
Richard Diamond, Private Detective, stars Dick Powell in the title role and was written by Blake Edwards with music composed and conducted by Frank Worth. This is Bill Foreman speaking. Richard Diamond, Private Detective is transcribed in Hollywood by Jaime Del Valle.
Richard Diamond, Private Detective, has come to you through the worldwide facilities of the United States Armed Forces Radio and Television Service.
The makers of Camel Cigarettes present Dick Powell as Richard Diamond, Private Detective. Not one single case of throat irritation due to smoking Camels. That's what noted throat specialists reported in a coast-to-coast test of hundreds of people who smoked only Camels for 30 days.
Make your own 30-day Camel mildness test, the sensible, thorough cigarette test, and see why more people smoke Camels than any other cigarette.
Here transcribed is Richard Diamond, Private Detective, starring Dick Powell.
Diamond Detective Agency. Put up or shut up.
Hi.
Oh, hi, Helen.
You busy?
Oh, like a hibernating bear.
No business?
I've seen more action in a bankrupt turtle farm.
Oh, things can't be that bad.
I'm even getting an echo in here.
Rick.
Really? Listen. Hello?
Hello?
See?
Rick, was that really an echo?
Oh, wait a minute. Hey, my girl wants to know if you're really an echo.
I beg your pardon.
Honey, I'll call you back. This echo has a man with it.
Bye.
Bye. Can I help you, sir?
I am looking for Mr. Richard Diamond.
Why?
Now, that's an extremely unique question. I want to sell him 10 tons of pig iron.
Well, I'm very sorry, but I made a New Year's resolution that I wouldn't build another battleship until I paid up my bill at the automat.
My name is Barr, David Barr. Now, if you'll stop talking like a television comedian, I would like to discuss a business arrangement.
Well, my name is Diamond, Richard Diamond. And if you're rolling in money, I'd be very happy to discuss any arrangement you could dream up.
How much do you charge, Mr. Diamond?
Well, that depends. Anything short of a felony, $100 a day in expenses.
How earthy?
Well, it keeps my ribs from showing.
Have you ever heard of me, Mr. Diamond?
Well, I have a feeling this may lose me a quick sale, but very frankly, Mr. Barr...
No matter, I can see by your clothes that your wardrobe must be fashioned exclusively by popular mechanics.
No. Well, okay, we've kicked it around. It's been fun, but I'm beginning to get winded. What do you want to see me for, Mr. Barr?
I want you to guard my store.
Store?
Yes, I have the most fashionable men's haberdashery and tailoring business on Madison Avenue.
And you want it guarded?
Perhaps I should give you some background concerning the disgusting incidents that led me to your,
office.
For the lack of a more sordid description, yes, office.
I'm sure the whole background must be very disgusting.
2 nights ago, my shop was vandalized.
Somebody broke in and swiped something.
Yes, yes. To be exact, 1 blue serge suit.
1 suit?
One. I reported the incident to the police, and they summed it up with the same brilliant observation as you. To quote the sergeant, somebody broke in and swiped something.
Now, look, Mr. Barr, don't tell me you want me to find that blue suit.
No, this was not the end of the trouble, Mr. Diamond.
Somebody lifted a hand-painted tie, maybe?
Naturally, my employees were questioned, and the following day the police returned to their little precinct, satisfied that somebody had merely...
busted in and swiped something.
Yes. Well, the following night, my shop was again the object of vicious vandalizing. This time, the party, or parties responsible, took every foot of blue serge material in the shop.
Oh, now, wait a minute. First, somebody breaks in and takes 1 blue serge suit. The next night, all the blue serge material in the store is stolen. What's the matter? Did you run out of suits?
All my suits are custom tailored, Mr. Diamond.
Oh.
My stock of finished merchandise is generally sparse. We complete only 2 or 3 suits a day. The missing blue serge was hanging with 2 other suits. The property, of course, of one of my best customers.
And the thief didn't touch the other 2 suits?
No. And on the following night, the night of the second burglary, a gray flannel was left untouched.
The suit and the cloth stolen were both blue serge?
Correct. Naturally, I had to order another stock of the same material. It's in the shop now, and I should not be able to sleep a wink unless I was certain that it was safe.
And you want me to sit up with the blue serge?
Exactly. I am considerably interested in finding the motive behind these unusual robberies.
Oh, well, this is certainly a first in my life. I've sat up with a lot of things, but never 15 yards of blue serge. The illustrious Mr. Barr handed me a $100 retainer, ran a white glove over the top of my desk like an inspecting general, made an observation on the pursuit of happiness, and went out of my office faster than a bad molar at a dentist convention. We had agreed to meet at his shop at 6 o'clock that evening, so I pasted the $100 bill to my instep, put the instep up on the desk, crossed the other instep over it, leaned back and dozed off, secure in the knowledge that money would never go to my head. Yeah?
Mr. Diamond, this is Mr. Barr.
Oh, yeah. Well, it isn't 6, is it?
It's 4:35. Mr. Diamond, am I correct in assuming that the moment you grabbed that $100, you became a member of my employ?
Well, you're correct. $100 worth.
Then please come immediately to number 6 Park Avenue. Something's happened, and I feel a complete breakdown coming on.
Oh, come in, come in.
What's happened?
Oh, if this keeps up, I may be living on dream pills. I've been eating them like peanuts.
Well, maybe if you gave me a hint.
I have been robbed.
Well, didn't we go through this thing in
Here, I've been robbed here in my apartment.
What?
I came home, took a bath, went in to get dressed, opened my wardrobe, and to my complete horror, found 3. My only 3 blue serge suits were missing.
Oh, no.
A potent reaction. Oh, no. Now, why didn't I think of that?
I can't imagine. It's certainly simple enough.
We'll spend a whole day insulting each other after you solve this mystery. So for now, strain yourself and try looking like a detective with a $100 retainer in his pocket.
Well, it's not in my pocket. But if we go into that, I'll leave myself wide open. Show me your wardrobe. Mr. Barr's apartment was as overdone as he was. I stepped down into the living room and found myself wading through a carpet that called for a dog sled to negotiate it. The smell of incense made me keep looking back over my shoulder for the dancing girls. He led the way into a bedroom that George Washington wouldn't have slept in without an armed guard and opened his wardrobe. 2 dozen $300 suits stretched from one end of the closet to the other, and there was enough material in that wardrobe to drive a frustrated moth into a complete fit.
They were hanging right here in this space.
You sure they couldn't be at the cleaners?
They were here this morning.
Oh, what's that on the bed? That's a blue serge suit.
Mr. Diamond, that is the suit I was wearing when I came into your office.
No, well, I was so busy looking at your money.
Well, what is to be done?
Well, I got to admit it's sure a strange one.
You are constantly coming up with the most astute observations.
Oh? Wait till I get around to your personality.
You'd really be a likable fella, Diamond, if I could bring myself to look at you.
Oh, I'm not so bad. Think of what you must go through shaving every morning.
Oh, really, Diamond? What do you think is behind this ridiculous situation?
Now, very honestly, I don't know. Except the obvious. Somebody wants your blue serge suits and all the blue serge material you've got.
That blue serge on the bed is the last one I've got. Do you think this could be some kind of a practical joke?
Not very. It could get somebody 10 years.
Well, have you got any ideas at all?
Yes, I have. Take that last blue serge and hide it. I'll sit in your store tonight and see that the new material you ordered doesn't get lifted.
You take the suit, Mr. Diamond. You're being paid to protect it.
Okay.
And remember, it's new. Brand new. It would cost you $300 to duplicate it. So for the sake of your home and kiddies, don't stuff your big shoulders into it.
He gave me the key to his store and told me how to shut off the burglar alarm. He gave me the phone number where I could reach him that evening in case something happened, draped the blue suit over my arm, and hurried me out of the room like he was getting rid of a plague victim. I grabbed a cab, and 10 minutes later, I was unlocking the door to my apartment. I started to toss Mr. Barr's suit on the bed, but thought better of it, so I went to the closet, opened the door, and reached for a hanger. Now, unlike Mr. Barr's wardrobe, I generally sport a variety of items. A couple of sport coats, a few old Letterman sweaters to fill up the space, 4 pair of slacks, and usually, mind you, I say usually, 2 suits. One of which I was wearing at the moment. The other was a blue serge. Was right, because where my blue serge suit once was, it wasn't. That did it. First, Barr loses everything in sight that happens to be blue serge. Then I come home and find that one of the 2 suits I had to my name had been swiped. I burned. Barr could get dozens of suits and use them for bath mats when he got tired of wearing them. Me? I was going to have to sew sleeves on the bath mats. I called Barr at home, but he'd left. I thought about calling with the number he had given me, but decided against it. I sat down to try and figure it out. But a half a dozen camels later, I was still facing a big fat zero. One thing was sure. I had Mr. Barr's last blue serge suit, and nobody was going to get it away from me. Big shoulders or not, I put it on and headed for Barr's shop on Madison Avenue. I never made it.
Hold it.
Hey, what is this? Well, I'm only considering it because he's got a gun in my back.
Walked under that sedan by the curb.
Well, I get car sick.
You heard him.
Oh, fellas, I haven't been well. Doctor recommends lots of walking. Told me to stay away from cars.
No.
Oh, now look.
You heard him.
Yeah, I heard him. Would I be nosy if I asked?
Yeah, you would be very nosy.
How about you, friend?
You heard him.
Get in the back.
Look, can I interest you boys in a deal? My secret decoder and my ray gun, if you'll only... They were both big boys, and they both had big guns. One of them slugged me with one of the big guns, and my head swelled up to match the whole ugly situation. I went down and out faster than a left fielder trying to steal home with a Charlie horse, and they rolled me into the car. We drove for a long time, me lying on the floor of the back seat, trying to bring myself back to a conscious way of thinking. Finally, I snapped out of it, and they let me sit up and take a look around. We were on a lonely stretch of road, and although the car was green, not black, and didn't look anything like a hearse, I had a gloomy feeling that we were heading for a funeral.
Get out.
Now look.
You heard him.
Okay. Look, fellas, the least you can do is tell me...
Get out of that suit.
Get out of the suit?
You heard him.
Take it off, and take it off quick.
Well, okay. Would you mind turning your backs?
You want to get belted again?
No. I'll take it off.
Take the coat, Hans.
Yeah, Hans. Here.
Now the pants. Come on.
Oh, all right. But it's cold. I'm getting goosebumps.
Hand him the pants.
Yeah, Hans. Oh, so you're the guys who've been after the blue serge suits.
Walk him off the road, Hans.
Yeah, what if a car came by, me in my hand-painted shorts?
Get him off far enough so they won't find him right away. Move!
Oh, now look.
You heard him.
Yeah, I sure did.
Before we continue with Richard Diamond, Private Detective, here's an important question.
How mild can a cigarette be?
There's one sensible way to find out. It's not just a sniff, not just a puff, but steady smoking. For only then can you find out how well a cigarette agrees with your throat day in and day out.
In a coast-to-coast test, hundreds of people smoked only Camels for 30 days. Each week, their throats were examined by noted throat specialists who reported not one single case of throat irritation due to smoking Camels.
Make your own 30-day Camel test. Enjoy the rich, full flavor of Camel's costly tobaccos for 30 days and find out just how mild a cigarette can be, how mild Camels are, pack after pack, week after week. It's the sensible, thorough test, a test that will pay off in years of smoking enjoyment. You'll discover why so many people say, once a Camel smoker, always a Camel smoker.
How mild, how mild can a cigarette be? Make the Camel 30-day test and you'll see. Smoke Camels and see.
And now back to Richard Diamond, Private Detective, starring Dick Powell.
I kept walking with Hunts right behind me, his big gun pointed to the middle of my back. I could stand losing my clothes, but I'd grown to enjoy my life. So I decided I'd have to get that gun away from Hunts somehow. We were 50 yards from the road when I tried it. Give me that gun! Come on, give it to me! I guess you didn't hear what I said. Hunts had tried his best to put a hole in me, but like most guys who think they've got a sure thing, he forgot a small item called luck. In this case, all of it on my side. I left him lying on his face in the moonlight and headed back for the car. But the other gunsel evidently saw my white shorts bounding over the landscape and decided it was time to leave. I tried a shot at him and then went back to find Hunts and borrow a pair of pants. Sometimes when things happen that fast, a guy gets careless. Now, I'd figured Hunt's, being wounded, would be in the same spot I left him. But when I got back to the spot, the one-sentence killer was nowhere in sight. Somewhere in the distance, I heard a branch snap, so I knew that Hunt's was on his way back home. I was getting too cold in my undies to start chasing him, so I went back to the road and walked until I spotted a house. Any other time, I would have considered carefully before walking up to a front door, attired only in my underwear. Thank goodness they weren't blue serge. I figured I could say I was a cross-country runner with a bad sense of direction. I rang the doorbell and waited.
Yes.
Could I use your phone? Oh, shut up, Walt.
Boy, did you look silly when they dragged you in here.
Oh, I don't know. Otis thought it was a burlesque raid and asked me for a date.
Would you mind telling me what you were doing running around like that?
Well, that woman's husband was chasing me. What did you think I was doing?
Well, you can't blame the old man for chasing you. You scared his wife right out of her wig. Now, why don't you tell me what this is all about?
Because I don't know.
Well, how'd you lose your clothes?
Let me make a phone call and I'll tell you all about it. I put in a call to David Barr and asked him to meet me at the store. Then I briefed Walt on everything up to date. Walt said,
"Are you nuts?"
And I left before I had to lie. I went back to my apartment, climbed back into the only suit I had left, and 20 minutes later, I was standing in David Barr's shop on Madison Avenue. I explained the events of the last couple of hours, and Mr. Barr said,
Disgusting.
You bet.
I just can't understand it.
Move over.
Don't you have any theories at all?
Well, vague ones. That blue suit that you gave me. Tell me about it.
The material was originally ordered for a customer who failed to show up, so I had it made up for me.
Where did you get your cloth?
Black & Winterfield. Although I'm certain you've never enjoyed the benefit of their merchandise, you must have heard of them.
What customer was the material ordered for originally?
Oh, not one of my steady customers. He left a deposit.
Well, what was his name?
Kingsley. Leonard Kingsley, a small man with a preposterous stomach. I had to order 4 yards.
Well, that's Mr. Kingsley. He's never called or gotten in touch with you?
No. So needing another blue suit, I use the material for myself. If he comes in, I can always order more material.
Didn't you take his measurements?
He was in a hurry. He picked out the serge from the book, gave me a deposit, and told me he'd be back that afternoon for the measurements. That was over a month ago. What are you driving at, Diamond?
How do I know? I'm just fishing. The whole thing has got something to do with blue serge material and that blue suit.
You're getting disgustingly repetitious. I suppose you're going to tell me this Kingsley sent 2 hired killers to steal my goods because he thought it was easier than coming in for a fitting.
I don't know. Where's your phone?
On the desk. It's the only thing in the whole shop that looks anything like a phone. Honestly.
I got more of a description of Leonard Kingsley and put in a call to Walt at the precinct. I gave him the information, asked him to run a check. Then I said goodnight to Mr. Barr and settled back in a chair to guard the store. I'd been sleeping about an hour when Walt called back.
What do you know about this Leonard Kingsley, Diamond?
Oh, now, there's a brilliant question. Why do you think I called you up? I don't know anything. I want to find out.
Well, where did you hear about him?
From my client?
That bar guy you told me about?
That's right. This Leonard Kingsley came into his store, ordered a suit, never came back.
That was because he couldn't.
Come back?
Yeah. About a month ago, this Leonard Kingsley was killed in a car accident. Stepped off the curb and a car hit him.
You sure it was an accident?
Yep. Woman hit him. There was an inquest. Witnesses say it was all Kingsley's fault.
All right. What's the rest?
Rest?
Oh, stop with the Little Red Riding Hood. Something's up.
Well, this is confidential, Rick.
Well, it'll stay that way.
The FBI have got a share in this thing.
What?
It seems that when a check was run to find Kingsley's home and relatives, all of the credentials he had on him turned out to be phonies, particularly his passport.
What did the feds find out?
Kingsley was from one of the Iron Curtain countries. Espionage.
All right. Well, Paul Revere with a shoulder holster.
I want some answers, Mr. Barr. How many customers can you remember who came into your shop and ordered only one suit in the last year?
Half a dozen.
How many never came back after they got the one suit? Well, what's the matter?
That's peculiar. Everyone I can remember, and they're comparatively easy because most of my customers are steady.
Go on. What about these single customers?
Every one of them ordered a blue serge.
And you got all the material from Black & Winterfield?
Yes.
The whole thing was beginning to make sense. What better way of getting information out of the country than in the material of a suit? I dragged Barr down to the store again, got the names of all his single customers who had ordered blue serge suits. Then I went over to the 5th Precinct and had Walt make a check on them. 2 hours later, the U.S. Customs Department sent in an interesting teletype.
Rick, every one of those guys have left the country and hasn't returned.
And 8 to 5, the FBI can find out plenty. Well, give them the information. Let's go over to Black & Winterfield. I want to take a look at that store. See if I can find out how anyone can hide any kind of information in 3.5 yards of blue serge.
There it is. Dark.
Yep, come on.
What do you think you're going to do?
Well, we're going in that store and take a look around.
You can't do that. Not without a warrant.
All right, Fatty, just so you won't disgrace that lovely badge, I'll go in first, and you can come in and arrest me for breaking and entering.
Now, Rick, you wait a minute.
Walt, they know I got away. We can't wait. Hey.
What's the matter? What are you looking at?
That car in the alley.
What about it?
Looks like the one those two killers took me for a ride in. Come on.
Well?
Looks like it. Wait a minute, I took a shot at it, and maybe I can...
Wait, I'll light a match.
Uh-huh. Yes, sir, here it is. Nice little bullet hole.
Well, I
think one of my little headhunters is in that building. Still want to get a warrant?
Let's go. How are we going to get in?
Oh, you'll figure something out. You're really a second-story man at heart.
Rick, wait a minute.
What is it?
Look at this. Isn't that blood?
Looks like both of them are here. Leads right in that door.
Locked.
Let's go around back. We ducked around back and spent the next 10 minutes jimmying the window. And Walt couldn't have been more professional if he'd done time in Sing Sing. He jammed it without a sound and knew just how to disconnect the alarm. We squeezed through and dropped to the floor. We were in a basement, and from somewhere in another part of the building, we could hear a radio playing softly. We went up the steps to the first floor and stopped to listen. The radio was to our left, down a long corridor. We stayed against the wall and edged our way toward a door at the end of the hall. A thin strip of light showed at the crack, and we moved up and listened, holding our breath.
How you feeling, Hunts? Well, try and take it easy. And the boss is coming with the doc.
They're both in there.
Let's take them.
Hold it.
Music making you feel better, huh?
No, Gabe.
Well, you want something better, maybe? Artie Shaw pick you up, maybe?
No, turn it off.
Okay. Don't you worry. I'll get that shamus for shooting you. And the boss will be real happy when he sees we got the suit.
Okay, let's take them, Walt.
Look out behind you, Rick!
It all happened so fast there wasn't any time to think. Suddenly, there were two men standing behind us in the hall. By the time the smoke cleared, both of them were down, and Walt and I were shaking like a hula dancer with a hot foot. Then, before we could catch our breath, Gabe came running out.
I'll get him, Rick!
No, I'll get him. You go in and take care of the wounded one. Walt went in after Hunts, and I took off after the other. I caught him just as he dove through the front door. Hold it!
Okay. I'm bleeding!
All right, let's have it.
I'm bleeding! Get a doctor!
The ambulance is on the way. Now tell us about it.
What do you want to know?
We want to know about the suits and about the material, and who the guys are in the hall.
One of them's a doctor for Hunts. The other one's the boss. He runs the store.
You were getting information out of the country and the blue serge material.
Yeah.
What kind of information?
All kinds. Defense plans, radar locations, that kind of stuff. Done all in code numbers.
How did they do it?
Stuff was invisible like. Just drew it on the blue serge. When the guy got out of the country, he'd take the suit and dip it in something. Then the writing come out.
And when Kingsley got hit by the car, you found out he didn't have the suit.
The boss did. How about it, Hunts? How do you feel?
Why did you swipe my suit?
We was tailing bar. Saw him going to your office. Figured maybe he'd give you the suit.
Well, there it is, Rick.
How about it, Hunts? Your partner telling the truth?
You heard him.
Dick Powell will return in just a minute.
What cigarette do you smoke, Doctor?
Again, a study has been made. Again, this question was asked of doctors all over the country and in every branch of medicine.
The brand named most was Camel. Yes, again and again, surveys show that more doctors smoke Camels than any other cigarette.
Friends, smoke Camels for 30 days, and you'll see how mild, how flavorful, how thoroughly enjoyable a cigarette can be.
And say, how about giving a carton of Camels for Valentine's Day? Makes a swell gift.
How mild, how mild, how mild, how mild can a cigarette be? Make the Camel 30-day test and you'll see. Smoke Camel and see.
Here's Dick Powell with a special message.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, each week for many years, the makers of Camels have been sending gift cigarettes to hospitalized servicemen and veterans in this country. Now, gift Camels are also being sent to hospitals overseas. This week's shipping list includes U.S. Naval Hospital, Yokosuka, Japan. Camels are also on their way to Veterans Hospital, Coatesville, Pennsylvania, and Fort Howard, Maryland. U.S. Air Force Hospital, Lackland Air Force Base, San Antonio, Texas. Now, until next week, enjoy Camels. I always do.
Dick Powell can soon be seen in his new RKO picture, Cry Danger. Tonight's adventure of Richard Diamond was written by Blake Edwards with music by Frank Worth. Our director is Helen Mack. Featured in the cast were Virginia Gregg, Wilms Herbert, and Arthur Q. Bryan.
PA stands for two things, Pipe Appeal and Prince Albert. They go hand in hand. For Prince Albert's Choice Tobacco has a rich flavor and a delightful natural aroma. PA is crimped cut for smooth, even burning, and it's specially treated to ensure against tongue bite. Get Prince Albert, the National Joy Smoke, America's largest selling smoking tobacco.
Listen next week for another exciting transcribed adventure of Richard Diamond, starring Dick Powell. This is your FBI. The official broadcast from the files of the FBI follows immediately. Stay tuned. This program came to you from Hollywood. This is the American Broadcasting Company.